Hello, friends. Welcome back. I am here with your full moon in Gemini reading. So, this is, I think over the last maybe month or so, it's been quite an interesting journey for me. And it's interesting to see how the new moon cycle, the reading from the new moon in June, has kind of played out. And I don't know if it's the same for you, but I'm hoping that this full moon, the end of this Gemini cycle with the moon here, brings us closure, brings us peace, brings us answers that we've been looking for maybe since June. So, with that said, I want to go ahead and jump in. I've already done something a little bit different today to prepare myself. I've not only said Psalm 91, but I've also done, I've done two different prayers to protect and also open myself to spirit. So if we think about the sign of Gemini, we think of it as, we think of twins. And so this morning, I was kind of moved to not only say a traditional Psalm 91 from the Christian Bible, but I also did a prayer to the great lady of the sky, the goddess Inanna, because I want to honor this balance that we're looking to find in order to protect this space and open the space for a reading for this full moon in Gemini. Now, I've also lit my full moon candle and my throat chakra candle because the throat chakra is connected to the sign of Gemini. Gemini is an air sign. If you know any Geminis in your life, you might know someone who's very, very talkative. And so Gemini rules the throat chakra. And as I was doing the opening prayer for Inanna, this candle right here just got so much brighter. And then I noticed that my throat chakra candle has not really taken on the flame just yet. Like, it's still kind of catching. So it's still very low, which means that we might need to sit in silence and receive words in this full moon in Gemini. That might not be true for everyone, but that is kind of this underlying theme that I'm sensing psychically, like underneath the current that is underneath it all. So we might need to sit in the mode of receiving communication, talking less, receiving information and answers. And of course, we talk about, when I talk about the full moon on this channel, I'm really imagining the full moon as this mother figure who has, let's put it this way. I imagine the full moon as a being that is ready to give new life to something. So we've gone from the dark moon and the new moon, where we are in this dark phase of being encompassed in a space of, anything could be happening, and that's the other thing, chaos could also happen in the daylight too, but most often we associate chaos happening in darkness, in shadow, because it's something that we can't see. And if we can't see it, how can we prepare for it? How can we create order out of chaos, because we can't see chaos? And I think that's what the message that's coming through right now is saying, is that there is going to be order out of chaos in the light. So something is going to come to light. Something is going to be made known. And it could, if you have prepared yourself properly, and given the gift that Spirit, the opportunity or the doorway that Spirit offered to for you to pass through, this I think could be a very interesting full moon in Gemini. And that opening remains there for a couple weeks after the full moon too. So just be prepared to hear something about maybe something that happened back in the June time frame when the moon was new in Gemini. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read. We're talking about the full moon in Gemini, which is the answers you need are coming. And then when we also talk about the full moon, we talk about surrendering to the divine. And surrendering to the divine, it's something that we can say, right? It's something that we can say that we are surrendering to the divine. But oftentimes that means we are letting go of control. We are letting go of the way that we think that it should have turned out, the way that we think it should be in anything. So I'm going to go ahead and read about the full moon in Gemini and the full moon. Then I'm going to do a little bit of a meditation, and then we'll get into the reading for the full moon in Gemini. So let's look. Let's do full moon first. Surrender to the divine. The very word climax brings all sorts of ideas and images to mind. Agreed? But it really is the feeling of this card. Life is coming to a head, a point, a conclusion, or a turning point. There may be some kind of change, and possibly even some sort of emotional explosion. Tune into your emotions now and see what they're telling you. They're very likely close to the surface, no matter when in the moon cycle you've pulled this card. Matters will soon conclude, and you'll find out whether or not your wishes are going to come true. The odds are in your favor, as this is a positive card, but you may need to work harder than usual to keep cool as events unfold. To attune to the moon, I am getting the answers I need. So this is doubly so that you are going to get the answers that you need with this full moon in Gemini and this full moon card here, kind of emphasizing that point. Additional meanings for this card. A wish you made may be about to come true. It's make or break time. There could be a sense of madness in the air. Breathe deep and stay calm. You may need to forgive someone to release negative energy. It's time to let go of the past and move on. The teaching. The full moon marks the climax of the lunar cycle, making this card something of a power card. The full moon is often the time when answers are given to the questions asked during the new moon. And pulling this card at any time in the lunar cycle suggests answers will be coming your way before too long. Okay. So now we have the full moon in Gemini. Let's find that card. Here we go. I'm laughing. I need you all to know that I'm a Sagittarius moon sign. And when I laugh, it's because I understand that even in the hardest things in life, even in some of the hardest lessons that come my way at least, there is always an understanding and a philosophy behind it. Whatever comes in is coming in for your good. Whatever is coming in. So please don't be nervous about this. Anything that comes into you, no matter what answers you get, they are going to be useful for your spiritual journey while you're here physically. Okay? So, The answers you need are coming with this full moon in Gemini card. This card is a reminder that it's important to speak your truth, but remember that your words have consequences and impact your listener. Right now, you need to guard against indiscretion. The answers you need may well come soon. The issue you're facing could well be one or a few conversations away from being resolved. If you're inquiring about a love situation, a little flirting may be called for. If you're in the middle of an argument, this card comes to you as a reminder of the very old, very non-Gemini message. Least said, soonest mended. And like I said, this throat chakra candle, the flame still hasn't caught on. So there's something about not speaking. There's something around not speaking around this time and not saying anything. Like, don't say anything. And really just waiting for either listening, learning to listen better than you talk, or being in receive mode because we're in this full moon. It's good to talk, but be careful you aren't causing yourself any issues with your words. Words have enormous power. As metaphysician Florence Scovel Shinn, 1871 to 1940, put it, your word is your wand. You create magic and your own reality every time you express yourself. And I have a couple of times, like, I think my mother actually taught me this, is that, when you put something out in the form of word or, exclaim, I don't like, fill in the blank. She taught me that original spell of whenever you say that, that's what you're claiming. Know whether or not that's actually what you want to claim. So when you speak something, and I find myself even growing up and around my friends repeating that to my friends of, do not claim that. If you don't really mean it, don't claim it. Don't put that out in the world if you don't mean it, right? So if you have to put something out in the world at this time, make sure it's something that you really, really mean. Make sure it's something very much backed up by truth and intention. Okay. To attune to the moon, have an important conversation, but stay calm. Additional meanings for this card: don't be superficial. Someone is trying to flirt with you. Have you noticed? You need to laugh off this situation and just move on. Job applications have good prospects. The teaching: talk, and more talk as the emotional full moon moves into the communicative sign of Gemini. It's too easy to say too much, so mind how you go if you pull this card. This card can also indicate an enjoyable social event, since the full moon in Gemini is a great time for socializing. This card also augurs well for any study you're either taking or considering. Okay. All right. So now that we've done that, I want to invite you to, if you are in a space where you are not driving and just sitting wherever, and you're in a space where you're comfortable, and that is comfort defined by however you define it. Find yourself seated, lying down. Maybe you're lying in bed. Maybe you're sitting on the couch. Maybe you're just, sitting at the kitchen table. And you can even have your hands, wherever's comfortable for you. You can have your hands out in front of you on the table. If you're lying down, maybe they're over your chest or over your stomach, whatever feels comfortable. Right now, I have them out in front of me. You can have them in your lap. My feet are on the ground. I'm sitting. If you're lying down or sitting, whatever you're doing, feel the contact of your body with that surface. Feel how, if you're sitting, your feet are on the ground. Maybe you kind of tap your heels a little bit to ground yourself into that feeling. If you're lying down, maybe you find out, can you go deeper in that mattress without going to sleep? Can you find yourself connecting at all points with whatever you're sitting on or lying in? Just breathe normally. Just breathe normally. Feel how it feels for your body to be connected in this place. Bring your attention to your breath as you inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And we're just going to follow the path of the breath as it comes in and moves out. Notice on the inhale that energy coming in and filling your body as if it were an air, maybe the color blue, a light blue air. Just breathe in. Feel that blue air. Imagine that blue air coming into your body, reaching all the way down to your feet. And then exhale any energy that has been stagnant or has not been moving. Maybe we're imagining ourselves using that blue air to clear out any stuckness we might be feeling. Maybe we imagine that blue air as the blue in a bright, sunshiny day, illuminated by the sun. And just allow that blue, bright sky to come into your body. And exhale any stuck energy. And if you feel stuck anywhere else, continue to breathe in through your nose. And then allow that blue to reach that stuck area and breathe into it. Maybe ask, why is the stuck energy here? And if you get the question, breathe in again and just let it out. Let it out. Maybe you say the thing that is feeling stuck on your exhale. So I'm going to breathe in resistance. That is what I'm feeling for myself. Hope. Wow. I'm feeling a resistance against hope or with hope. That's in my body. And grounding. Wow. And it's as if when you breathe in and you say that stuckness that comes out, it's as if you are acknowledging and healing that area and allowing it to heal or be. And we'll take a couple more breaths here, and then I'm going to invite you to start maybe moving your toes around, moving your legs, maybe just rotating your hips a little bit. Maybe you're moving your arms, rotating your shoulders. Maybe rolling your neck if you can. If not, please don't force whatever movement, just any movement that feels as if it's waking you up from this meditative space. And whenever you are ready, open your eyes. Take a look at the room you're in. Find yourself back in this room. Maybe look at your favorite photo. Maybe look at a piece of art. Maybe look at something that's in the room with you to remind you that you are here now. You are back. And so with that, I'm going to start the reading. In tarot, the sign of Gemini is associated with the Lover's card. And it's fitting that we see the Lover's card because there's two people in the card. Gemini is the sign of the twins. And often with the sign of Gemini has a hard time making decisions, right? Because they're pulled almost constantly in two directions unless they learn how to work together. So that is the meaning also of that Lover's card. It's about making decisions. It's not just about a love relationships. It's about making decisions. It's about choices a lot of the time. It's about seeing both sides of the story. It's about, it's about balance. It's got all the nature of duality, of, this idea of, if we think of soulmates, we think of, I can't remember who said it, but there's this idea that in the heavens, this person was whole, and then when they were brought down to earth, they were split into two. And so that's where we get this idea of soulmates, at least in the mythological sense of, going about this world constantly looking for, that other half of us, that other half of our higher self, when really there is no splitting. We're all the same. Excuse me. I think that's Gemini coming in to say, hey, be quiet. All right. So this reading might be a little bit different. I might be reading in reverse this time. So, considering the other side of the story, right? All right. So here we go. Spirit, can you give us some cards for the collective for this full moon in Gemini? Yes, thank you. All right. Spirit, can you give us some cards for this full moon in Gemini for the collective? Wow. Thank you. I'm going to take that upright. Actually, I think this might have come first. Ouch. Spirit, can you give us some cards? Wow. All right, thank you. And I think I had a few more to go through. Just ask Spirit again. Aha. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. All right. So let's take a look at what we've got out here on the table. So first up, we've got the Three of Wands in reverse. Then we've got the Page of Wands, the High Priestess, Hangman in Hangman in reverse. Okay. Queen of Pentacles in reverse, and the Nine of Swords in reverse. So as I was going through picking up the cards one by one, there was this sense of, there's definitely a sense of letting go, but there's also a sense of, when we were in our darkest times here, we picked up new knowledge. We picked up new information, and now we are bringing it to the forefront. And we're using it's a very spiritual thing that we're going through right now. If you sense this about yourself and this resonates, and I hope it does, this is a very important spiritual time of letting go, of freeing yourself from what looks to be like a nightmare situation. Or even something, when I say nightmare situation, whatever you have been going through has been you facing one of your worst fears. And when we talk about the idea, okay, let's talk about fear, right? Fear is, there's actual fear, like fear we're in danger, or fear, we're in a situation that requires a fight or flight response. Sometimes we feel fear of what if XYZ event happens again. So there are a lot of systems. I don't know why this is coming up, but there are a lot of systems that are in place in our world today that allow certain people to fall through the cracks, right? And when we have those systems in place, and those individuals fall through the cracks of a system that was never equal in the first place, it's kind of like you're in this space of you don't want that to happen again. You don't want that to happen again. You don't want that to happen again. And that becomes your fear, right? So if you're, I'll just share, if you're someone like me who has had maybe some bad, and when I say bad, maybe I've had issues around medical procedures, medical things, and because of my initial experience or continued experience with things in the medical realm, that becomes my fear of it repeating. And so because I have fear, I avoid it, right? I mean, naturally you would avoid it, right? There's what I'm trying to get at is there's different kinds of fear. There's actual fear of of we're protecting ourselves, we're trying to shield ourselves, we're in actual danger, like physical harm's way. And then there's fear that is created by experience, created by having something happen over and over and over again, to the point where it's just like, I'm terrified that it's going to happen again. I'm terrified that it's going to happen again, right? So it's almost because you're holding yourself back because you understand, fear becomes either you understand your power. Okay, let me back up. Because the messages came in quite differently, where it's turning this around and reversing it and saying, it's not, I don't have to fear my power. Because when we're in this, when we are in actual danger, fear is a legitimate, fear is always going to be legitimate when you're in physical harm and you're protecting yourself. That is what we do as living organisms. We protect ourselves. We naturally do that. But there is a part where we get into a fear where we don't understand the level of power that we actually have. So actual fear is our body, our inner systems telling us, leave the situation, leave, go, or move or run or, sit still or hide or that kind of thing, in order to protect yourself physically. When we encounter fear that has been a result of an experience of, that might just be built up in our heads. And I'm not saying this because I want you to gaslight yourself into believing that something's, if you are in a situation that is physically dangerous, I'm going to ask you right now to leave that situation. Find help. Protect yourself. If you find yourself in a space of this fear it's ruling your life, it's, you're allowing it to guide your steps. If you're living in fear, that means you've stepped away from your actual power. And this is what this reading is bringing forward. You have stepped away from your power, and it's time to get it back. It's time to understand that you have control over yourself. Okay, that I know that was long intro, but let's go through the cards. So with this Three of Wands, something that you were building for, something that you were preparing for and hoping for even, is you're giving up on it. You looked at it, you said, well, look, my ship's not coming in at this time. It's not, I'm not getting the wand that I was hoping for to complete this structure and move on into the Four of Wands, right? I'm not getting it. It's not coming. It's not being delivered. And so this Three of Wands in reverse is saying that you might be understanding where, I just need to start over again. And the only thing we need to be careful with when we're moving in this energy of letting go, right? Letting go of a dream, letting go of something that you built, or prepared for so long. The only thing is that sometimes it can make us bitter. And instead of seeing the potentiality of what could come in, we could be focusing too much on, well, I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't get what I wanted. And sometimes you have to understand how to see the blessing in that. And you can't, again, with this taking control, you can't let someone external or something external drive whether or not you get the thing you want. Sometimes you have to let go in order to gain a new perspective. And I think that's what shows up with the Page of Wands. Now, the Page of Wands, we've got a lot of Wands energy here, a lot of fire, a lot of air, a lot of things being stoked here. This Page of Wands comes in with this, there's travel coming forward in this card. There's travel, and if we look at, compared to the Three of Wands in reverse, that's just you on your own preparing and building, right? This kind of says, this Page of Wands kind of says, there's this new idea coming forward that you can really, really build on. Because, again, Three of Wands is just one single person. This is like just 2 steps away from the beginning of the tarot, this suite, right? The Page of Wands has made it all the way up past the Ten of Wands, has battled through that wand section to get to this Page of Wands state where he's just like, look, I'm now royalty. I'm part of the royal court. I can go travel now. I've made it. So you're really just making a way here when you let go. You're making a way here for something very, very special. A journey that is going to be very, very special and very close to your heart. Yeah. So this High Priestess, this is where I kind of feel like there's knowledge coming in, and you're really finding yourself either studying for something, or you're in like a higher level of preparation mode of something that is closer to actually what you really, really want in your life. Because again, I'm going back to this Three of Wands and taking a look, and I'm like, wow, the thing that we let go was something that we were building that was not, it was almost as if we were building with someone else's sticks instead of building from a deep, deep place of building from a deep inner space. And this is what the high priestess is asking us to do. And we see this, she's sitting between these two columns. She's kind of like a gatekeeper. And you kind of have to ask her for entry into this space of creation, right? So I think there's a really big idea here of being in touch with your feminine energy, being in touch. And when I say feminine energy, I mean energy of, receiving, because she is receiving information. Whereas if we looked at the card before this, the magician card is kind of masculine, external. Whereas the high priestess is this internal spiritual world, this internal space of understanding and learning and having the knowledge to do what it is that you really want to build for, like what is very close to your heart spiritually. Now, of course, this hangman comes in, and this is where I see the places where we were stuck, the places where we were trying to figure out what was going on, what we were doing. And of course, again, this high priestess here, we were going inside, right? Going inside is one thing. Doing shadow work and having really sitting down and getting in touch with your intuition, getting messages from your own spirit guides, or even your dreams, actually. I feel like if you've had any dreams lately, go back through your dream journals or go back through any of your entries. If you do dream journaling like I do, go back through and see what message might have come up from those depths, from those realms, because the hangman was for so long stuck in this upside down position, stuck having to look at a new perspective. And I say stuck because he's just, not lounging, but he's hanging from, this cross here, having to understand what were the results, what are the basically suffering from the consequences at some point of hanging on to something that was not working. And so at some point, the hangman was considering what was going on. In the reverse, the hangman is almost freed from this. And the knowledge that comes back from those depths is the knowledge that will help you understand how to release or let go, right? How to move forward in strength and power. Now, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. There's something about this card that talks about loss, that talks about the intuitive sense that I get with this card is that it's about loss. It's about letting go of the idea of having to control it all, having to control everything. That's interesting. Because typically when the Queen of Pentacles is upright, this is someone who, this is someone who is not only great at handling this stuff at home, but also can handle stuff at work, can provide for their family, can, do all those things. But here with this Queen of Pentacles, I sense, well, it's not the reverse of those things. It's really just understanding that there are several places in your life where you just won't have control. You just won't. How many minutes am I at? And hopefully you all can see these cards as I put them up. But this Queen of Pentacles just really drives home the point of someone in your life, maybe you, if you're like me, if you're like in your maybe 40s or above kind of a deal, or if you're a very mature soul, this could be a loss, an understanding that you don't have control over things at work, you don't have control over things at home, right? Or even just an understanding that you don't need to have control, but it comes in a very, it's kind of jarring. It's almost like you have to share this power with someone, and that doesn't sit right with you. I don't know where that's coming from. That's interesting. But then, of course, we get to this Nine of Swords in reverse, and this is just coming out of nightmare. This is coming out of sleepless nights. This is coming out of letting something external drive your internal world. This is about taking back your own power, taking back your power. Because even though there's this letting go of control, it's a letting go of control on a material level. It's kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to park this investment right here. I'm just going to park my time here. I'm going to let go of this one thing because I understand that I can allow it to grow on its own, or I can allow it to do its own thing. So you might be hitting a point of maturity in this Queen of Pentacles reversed. It's very interesting. Yeah, you could be hitting a maturity of, I can't always have it under control. I can't always have everything under control. Interesting. And then back to this Nine of Swords in reverse. You could be getting messages of healing from something that was a nightmare. And that's the big thing with Gemini, is getting, you could be getting messages that are maybe in your dreams. You're getting empowering messages. You're getting messages of let go and let live, or let go and move forward, or let go in order to allow in healing. Yeah. Interesting. So at the bottom of the deck, we have this Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands this is all about just action. Like the Page of Wands was in the reading as an initial idea, but this is really just driving home the point that it is time for you to move on. It is time for you to move forward in whatever dreams you have for yourself. That, we're letting go of old dreams, we're letting go of old ideas, we're letting go of old relationships, we're letting go of, things that have gone past their useful period. We're no longer investing, that's what it is. We're no longer investing time in the things that are not fulfilling us. So we're not going to invest time or work into either a relationship, a job, or something else that is unfulfilling, that's not giving us back what we need. That's it. Yeah. Wow. It's not giving us back what we need. And so this Knight of Wands is saying it's time to move on. It's time to go chase our actual dreams, the things that we really want in our lives, with this High Priestess card, right? And this is really a divine feminine card too. The High Priestess to me is it's knowledge, but it's also very much this feminine aspect of God deal. Let me, I want to look at my helper card because I have better words than that that are written on this card. Let's see. High Priestess. Yes. And I think it also speaks to a little bit of this Hangman in reverse, where we're looking at very much maybe we're looking at Kabbalah, maybe there are secrets that are coming out. The High Priestess is also indicative of the dark feminine. And I've been getting a lot of messages lately from Spirit about that dark feminine and the difference between, that's what it is. So with this High Priestess and this Queen of Pentacles, right? This Queen of Pentacles in reverse. The High Priestess is the dark feminine. And the dark feminine only comes in to give you the information that you need in order to fulfill your very true, your very deep inner truth. That's what the dark feminine is here for. The dark feminine, every time that I've had this visual, right, in my head as I've been moving throughout the last couple of weeks, actually, I think of the dark feminine, and I hear this quote by Marion Woodman that says that there was someone that was having a dream, and in the dream they walked in, and this dark figured woman was locked in a cage while there was a party happening all around her. And the dreamer asked the dark figure, the dark feminine woman in the dream, why have they locked you in a cage? Who are you? And the dark feminine responds, who do you think is hosting the party? So there's this idea that our shadows, our shadow selves, our inner, I think of it as dark feminine when I think of the shadow. That shadow arrives to bring us our deepest desires and dreams, but we lock it away and party all around instead of paying attention to who is hosting the party. So if we're not paying attention to our shadows, if we're not paying attention to those deep, dark fears, right, that are driving the way that we don't fully live our lives, we are going to encounter also what I see in this Queen of Pentacles card, the Death Mother. That's what I see in this card, the Death Mother. So we talk about the dark mother, the dark feminine. This is the death feminine. And the death feminine is the one that encourages toxic patriarchy, encourages and supports, the systems that continue to keep us away from this high level dark feminine mode. Yeah. So let me explain a little bit more about the Death Mother. And I call it the death. So there's the Dark Mother and the Death Mother. And I'll explain what this is. The Dark Mother is the one that is coming to free us. The Death Mother, which I see in this Queen of Pentacles reverse. The Death Mother is the one that is standing, the one that is raising us as, for example, just an example, this is not real life that I'm giving. So say you have a little girl that is growing up in a family, there's a mother and a father, right? And the Death Mother is not so much someone who is actually going to make you die per se, but the Death Mother, say the little girl says, oh, I want to go play in the woods and go to this creek and have, and try and, I want to play in the creek. I want to collect stones. I just want to go play down by the creek in the backyard. Now, the Dark Mother is the one that's hosting that idea in that little girl, encouraging that idea. Go out into the world. Go out and have fun. Go out and explore. This world is yours. That's the feeling of the Dark Mother, right? That's what she's bringing forward. This little girl is understanding her role in the world, how the world belongs to her and to every other living creature in it. And that's what the Dark Mother brings forward is a pure sense of belonging. Whereas the Death Mother, this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, is the one that says, honey, no, it's not safe. I don't think you should go out there. In fact, I think it's really a terrible idea for you to go out there. In fact, I don't think you should ever think about going out and playing in a creek and belonging in this world and being who or what you need to be. It's not safe. It's not safe. I don't think you should go. And that's the Death Mother. That's the one that kills our dreams. That's the one that kills our hopes. That's the voice in our head that says you can't do this. That's the negative voice that says, who are you to belong in this world as a human, as this, as that? That's the Death Mother. And that's the one that supports toxic patriarchal hierarchy values. So this is the one that will also say to the little girl, hey, look, you shouldn't go out into the creek to play. You need to be clean and neat and, be ready to get married. Who's going to want you if you're not taking care of yourself, if your dress is not ironed? Who's going to want to marry you or have kids with you? Or, you know what I mean? That's the Death Mother. That is that critical voice that is keeping us from the life of this high priestess. Okay, I've gone on pretty long, and I want to make sure that I get you some guidance before we move forward. I'm going to use this mystical Shaman Oracle card deck. All right. So yeah, think about the people in your life that you can show up as this Death Mother. That could also be the thing that you're getting rid of with this Nine of Swords in reverse. You're getting rid of those negative critical voices that are in your head, that are keeping you in fear, that are keeping you away from healing with your shadow. And again, I'm a shadow work practitioner. I'm here for you. Seriously. If you would like a session, please book via my website. Let's talk about times and availabilities. I am not scheduling any until about January, but if you're interested, please contact me. All right, let's get some guidance, please, Spirit, for this reading. And thank you so much, Spirit, for all of your messaging that has come in today for this full moon in Gemini reading. Do you have any guidance for this reading as we move forward out of fear with the strength of the dark mother, the dark feminine, the balance of the masculine and the feminine, the female intercessor that comes into our lives to help us move forward and out of this cycle? Do you have any guidance for us, Spirit? Any guidance? Ooh, okay, that kind of slipped out there. So we've got the staff. Interesting enough, just like the Page of Wands, just like the Knight of Wands, and kind of just like this staff that the Hangman is on. So let's go ahead. I'll prop this up here. It's got a giraffe on it. This is the number 51. If we add 5 plus 1, that is 6. Where is my book? Okay, here. All right, the staff, number 51, upright. What is the guidance for this reading? The essence. The staff is the symbol of authority. It holds the power to temper extremes. The staff helps you find the right course of action, the way of the middle, and aids you to maintain your balance after you begin walking in that direction. Moses carried a serpent staff through the desert, and with it he could summon the power of nature to heal or call plagues. The staff reminds you of the impermanence of all things, and that your authority must come from your deep longing to serve. The invitation. You know how to flow easily between polarities, how to weigh all the possibilities and instinctively select the right path. Trust your inner wisdom and take the first step on a journey that your heart has already embarked on. Trust in this Page of Wands. Trust. Trust your inner wisdom. Trust your inner wisdom. Okay. Trust your inner wisdom and take the first step on a journey that your heart has already embarked on. Use the power of the staff to unite what appears to be divided, to find that delicate balance between will and surrender. And remember, with this full moon, we are surrendering to the divine. And we need to find a balance between our will, right? The things we want, and the divine. And I think that answer is going to come for you all probably as soon as Saturday, maybe in the few days after, and you'll get an understanding of what balance is between surrendering. Yeah, it's surrendering. Wow, I missed the page. Yeah, between your will, and surrender. Because there are things that you might want, you might not be able to get it right now. But that doesn't mean you give up on yourself once you understand this deeper thing that you want, right? This really soul-connected thing that you want. Don't let the Death Mother in. Don't let the Death Mother critique you or tell you that you're wrong or tell you that you don't deserve X, Y, Z. Like, don't let the Death Mother keep you aligned in a place that is just completely unaligned with what you truly and deeply and spiritually know to be true. Align with your shadow. Align with your shadow. Find peace with your shadow. Get to know your shadow. Know thyself. All right, that's your reading. Hope you have a wonderful day. I might actually come on and do another live on Saturday. I'm not sure. Probably not. I really do think this was a really thorough reading, and I hope you all enjoy, and I hope you all take some beauty away from this reading and it serves you well. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.